Signal, Graham from Airsoft Nation. So, welcome to episode 10 of the live show. Carlo, it's just this show. We get through this. We've got one more. We're done. End of the season.
What the hell? Why are you getting rid of me so quickly? I have evidence here that states I'm coming back. I mean, it's like Graham, take me on for season 2, but it's still evidence, right?
So,
I don't hear us being mentioned, Andy. I don't hear us.
No.
If you didn't get the introduction, so we will
With
start
the feedback.
again. That's it. So to my right, we've got Gary from SouthCoast CQB.
Hello.
And down in Portsmouth. And we've got Andy from Invicta Battlefield. Which
Hello.
I would say is Maidstone. Is that probably the
not
biggest
far.
town?
Yeah, not far.
It's in Kent. Kent's only one area.
Yes. And
actually, all the sites are down one road in Kent. You just have to choose which side of the road you drive.
Doesn't feel like it. Hey, Will, welcome to the show. Anthony, thanks for jumping in. Ryan, thanks for joining the stream. So, yes, before we start, it's worth letting everybody know this is show 10, and next week is the finale for season 1. Tune in towards the end, and I'll announce what's happening on the live show because we've got a slight change of schedule. But until then, let's continue with the show. Now, I know Gary has eagerly been preparing for this weekend's upcoming event, which we'll discuss later. So we'll skip him. Carlo, did you play at all this weekend?
I did not, actually. I was busy getting my new fade because I'm a hipster. No, I had family commitments to make. I had to go to church, which kind of burnt my soul a little. So when that holy water hits you, you're kind of like, no, mate, I'm good.
So all the sins are gone for next weekend. Andy, Andy, I know you had a really busy weekend. So let's go straight into what you were up to this weekend then.
It was busy. We were hosting the ICAC event that's Kent versus Berkshire.
Yes.
So, bit of a Kent win in the end.
Just a slight whitewash, really.
Just slightly. Yeah.
But yeah, we had was it around 60 players turn up.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, 60 players.
Yeah, Kent versus Berkshire. Overall, good day.
Yeah, really good day. Everyone was. It was a good laugh. Both teams. So the Berkshire team was made up of Berkshire and a load of Kent players as well.
Yeah.
A load of my regular players and some walk-ons as well, just to help make up the numbers. They were struggling to get them all down.
Yeah, I mean, Berkshire's quite funny. They declare war on every county around them and then realise they're the smallest county with the least amount of players and sites all in the same location.
Yeah.
The thing is, just me being me, there must be something dodgy going on there when Berkshire has to borrow players from Kent.
Yeah.
Wouldn't Kent just sabotage Berkshire anyway?
Well, it was a bit of fun, but they were pretty good. They were some were from Sussex and all sorts. There was a big mixture.
Yeah. I mean, it's all in the world of fun. I mean, I played. So Gary was the host of the first ever ICAC game.
Yeah, back last year.
Yeah, before we actually had it as known as ICAC, and that was Berkshire versus Hampshire, wasn't it?
Yeah, Berkshire didn't do very well that day.
I sense a theme. I sense a theme coming along. Did they declare war on the wrong county again?
I'll wait till they declare war on Essex, then we'll see what happens.
God. Well, I think Hampshire are up for anybody really. They want to take anybody on. But we haven't got
spirit.
Yeah, definitely.
I can see that. I presume it's Cole on the ICAC saying the borrowed Kent players did us a huge favour. They walked out on site and was like, I'm here, I'm sure. Where's the white flag?
One of the Kent players did run the flag through a bog, and it ended up covered in mud as well and all sorts.
I did plan to have photos on the green screen until we had issues.
That's called the Kent Bath, mate.
Yeah.
Don't you know it? I I popped down for about the last hour or so, see the site for the first time, which is really nice, real good looking site, and talked with all the players down there and had a chat with Carl, and everyone seemed to have a really good time. And obviously we've got next fixtures coming up soon enough. I was just chatting to Carlo before the stream, and he was saying how Essex are getting their stuff together for their war.
Yeah, we are. There's been a lot going on there recently, especially with a few of the personal developments going on with the 1IC and 2IC. But, you know, for a team that is kind of really spread out across the entire county, and is one of the biggest in the UK. Sorry, everybody else, but, you know, we got the most money. So,
Let's tell you.
Yeah. But, no, we don't. But the fact that these guys have all banded together to support each other and work as a team and have that sense of camaraderie is something that you never see on live skirmish days.
Yep.
You know, no one's been forced into this position. It's voluntary, and they all want to work with each other.
Yeah, I think this is the whole thing about it. It's competitive, but it should always be fun, and that's the first thing they were saying yesterday after the safety brief, is that it should be still fun. And
that's off to Carl for getting it started, really.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's done a great thing. I mean, I know he's committed to travel to make sure that it is run in the spirit of being fun.
Absolutely.
I think it's the only way something like this works.
Guys,
If it gets too serious, you just lose it anyway.
Yeah,
Berkshire are getting bullied in the comments. We've got Tony Wright and says, looks like Gloucestershire should take on Berkshire, and they definitely win.
Berkshire, all 5 of their players will have the most games played. Cole may be travelling England just to play.
What's on the team roster? You 5 again? Okay. Do an airsoft and get a point.
But yes, I mean, absolutely. Cole's done great work to it, and I do think this should hopefully really pick off. But at the end of the day, this is one thing that the UK needs to put airsoft to seen as a sport. You know, the fact that it could be national, it's a competitive aspect. There is a league to it all, in the grand scheme of things. This could be something we absolutely need, not just for the kind of community and bringing counties together, but also the bigger picture of airsoft and its recognition. So I'm looking forward to it, and I didn't get to play for Kent this time, but I'm definitely signing up for next time. Maybe I'll wait for the Kent versus Essex game.
No, just oh really, Graham? Really?
So,
do you want to know what we do to prisoners, laddie? Because I guarantee you won't like it.
I was like, I've been to you at Mill Sims.
you saw I did in the last Mill Sims song, didn't you? Like, look, it's quite recently, yeah, so just ask my questions as honestly as you can.
I'll bring the Vaseline. You don't need.
And then Mark was like, stress position.
Okay. So, well done, Andy, for pulling it off. And I mean, like I say, everyone seemed to have a great time, and I hope a few more players will go down to the Invicta site, because it's. I mean, you've not been up long, have you? Really?
No, not really. We try and just keep the fun there. It is if we're not having fun as well, then it's not worth doing it, really.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And just add as well, Berkshire did nearly get a point.
I should have taken a photo of the whiteboard bit when I left.
Yeah.
It was like Kent 8, Berkshire 0.
It was good. It was good. The last game, in the end, they just mixed teams up for the last game, and just all had a laugh in the last game, which is really good.
To be fair, Berkshire did trounce Hampshire a few months ago.
Return?
At the return game. So, but we don't talk about that. That's something that never really happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In their home county,
Let's talk about it.
No, let's not. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Hants versus Berkshire game. It's later this year.
Exactly. Cole, if you're in the chat and I see you are posting, let us know what the next fixtures are so we can see who's coming up next, because I've missed that so far. But,
Graham, you just got a threat from one of the Essex players. It says, are we going to cut you in half?
The best bit, right? That's my best friend's dad.
Yeah, I know, Maynard. Yeah.
AKA my bike mechanic, so I have to be nice, at least until the game. Staffordshire, what's that, 13th for me? I can't see the chat, it's just gone already for me.
Staffordshire, Worcester.
Yeah,
Staffordshire, Worcester, nice. Cool.
There are a lot of games happening that I didn't even know about.
Well, I
Devon
think
Gloucester,
this,
date to be decided.
That is the point, though, isn't it? The fact is, if all these counties kind of have their own little regions where they're fighting each other, yeah, that is showing off the beard. If all the little counties do have their own little battles, potentially there are going to be a lot of fixtures going on, and obviously you're not going to know all of them.
And they can go on at the same time, can't they?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And it will be on the website, and the photos and the gallery will go up.
Carl says, keep up. All right, sorry, mate.
So, no, I think it's great. I still think it's if your county's not involved, get them involved. And if your county is involved, find your captain, definitely get involved, because it's going to be one of those fun things. And I think the next year with it, it's going to be really interesting.
Tim Brown says Kent versus Sussex, next looking at the end of June. Yeah, it's a question straight off the bat. Angela DeVito asks, you may have already been asked this, but how do you score a game based on honour?
Yeah. well,
okay. Next question is.
Yeah, tricky. I mean, one of the things I looked at some of the games to play, and we did a flag carrying game. We played dead flag, so if the flag carrier's shot, you drop the flag, take it back, and one of our marshals ran with the flag every time. So it was kind of, we had a little bit of an element of, it was bloody knackering. But yeah, we did. Yeah, unfortunately, I was on the wrong team because I kept running with the Kent when the Kent stole the flag. But no, it is an honour game, but I think, it's
that is
difficult.
the point, isn't it? As long as you stay with the fun aspect.
Yeah.
And people don't take it too seriously, it doesn't matter to lose. It's not a winning and losing, it's to taking part and enjoying it. And at the end of the day, it's your county coming together, especially if you're doing an away game, because I know the thoughts in future in the away game is you're going to go with a group of your players, together.
I'll be up for playing as well. I like to try and have a game occasionally.
Well, I played for the Hampshire team.
Absolutely. I mean,
I
was Gary playing. I did say if I played for Kent this weekend, I would have definitely given a Berkshire a bit of a head start. But
we did try and help them as much as possible.
The first game we did was points based.
Yeah.
So that was the honour thing. It's just it worked, but the points game helped.
Yeah, I don't think you could do it on kills and things like that, could you?
No.
Because
yeah.
How many times were you killed? I wasn't at all. I mean, that's the point, though, isn't it? When these matches are set up for the home and away games, it's the site owners themselves that run the day. Carl and the ICAC guys, they don't go there and say, this is the games. They ask to be short and quick ones so that you can get plenty of variety on there. But it is a case of, these are short games. If your team's not enjoying that game, it's not long before the next one comes around.
That's right.
So,
we do have some praise on the comments here. So, thanks to Gary for being the very first person to say yes.
Oh, don't. It's not all about me. It's not about me.
Well, Gary, let's talk about
your. Yeah, no, let's get into that. Yeah.
Let's talk about your site, because if anyone's not been there, let's start.
Sit down now, Andy. Sit down.
Yeah. I was having a look. I'm liking the look of it. I want to come and have a game.
We'll set up a little battle bus.
Yeah.
We've obviously chatted a little bit about Invicta, but let's start. Gary, we'll talk about your site and then we'll flip around to Andy. So tell everyone how long the site's been around, the type of environment and what they're expecting to play at.
The third birthday of SouthCoast CQB is today.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So we've been running 3 years today. And it's been a long road, and there's been lots of lows and quite a few highs, but generally we're doing okay. The original idea in the beginning was to kind of just start off small and have 130, 140 players, but it didn't work. So we brought it down to 60 to 80 now, and it's working really well.
And so, what type of environment is this at for someone who's never seen or heard of SouthCoast?
It's CQB. We don't have much in the way of greenery, a couple of trees, but it's mainly buildings. We've got two-story buildings. We've got about 30 smaller buildings that we use. Lots of tarmac. We've got a kill house. We've got a big tyre fort. We've got cars. We've got little hidey holes. It's evolving really nicely as a site.
And it's all based here, or it is an old army barracks, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Badlard. I mean, you've mentioned it a couple of times about Badlard's Army.
Yes.
It's known for that, but predominantly it was a training camp for the army in the World War II, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and then cadets took it over in the 90s, and then it got sold by the MOD.
Just saying, Rich is in the comments. So thanks for tuning in, buddy. Well done on the Hampshire side. So,
Badger. Yeah, Badger's a good friend of mine. He says he highly recommends it to anyone. First question we got is from Anthony Wakeling. It's like, where is it? Gosport, right?
Gosport. It's the last stop towards the Isle of Wight. You can see the Isle of Wight from where we play.
Exactly.
That's cool.
So there's like 100 meters of beach, then the Solent, then the Isle of Wight.
Nice. Yeah,
there's a bloody breeze though. The breeze is a killer. Every game we get, there's a breeze, and it can be really strong. It can be, you can actually see BBs do like boomerangs. Honestly, and that's like friendly kills. And it's just amazing. And she can shoot around corners as well with the breeze. It's amazing. That's the killer. That's the thing that causes the most problems. But on good days, it's really sunny days, it's brilliant. On cold days, that breeze is a nightmare. Work days are horrible.
A few people are definitely complimenting the fact of when the wind's picking up, your BBs are definitely going.
yeah. I think most people will say if they come on a really windy day, then the BBs fly.
That's cool. So 3 years. That's really cool.
So we've changed the site now to we used to have a north to south respawn. Now we've got east to west. We've extended it. We've extended the playing area on the site, so it makes it easier, for the shooting of the BBs. It just north to south was a real bitch because the BBs just would fly, and the other way they wouldn't go. They wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Do you have to lower the FPS for a tailwind?
Snipers loved it.
Yeah. 1,000-yard shots. Yeah.
Yeah, but east to west it's made it a lot easier now for that.
Okay, and Andy, let's have a quick rundown of what Invicta is, how long you've been up and running. Obviously, it's a lot newer. For anyone who's not been or not heard of it.
Yeah, it's predominantly a woodland site. I've been running as Invicta Battlefield Airsoft site for just under a year now, so relatively new to it. But I was running it before as a paintball site.
Oh, don't say
it. Yeah, I know. And I was turned. But no, it's much better. I've changed. The only thing I had to do was change the complete layout of the site, really, in the ways that were, nothing major. But it is, woodland, but it's not flat, which is makes it quite interesting. You get a few moaning about walking up and down the hills, but it is good fun. There's some bowls, there's hills, all sorts. Bunkers dug in, and I've made a little CQB area as well, which is quite nice. Out of I say little.
What's the nickname?
It's called tinnitus. Yeah,
Yes.
it's completely made out of metal hoarding. So it's quite loud in there. Flashbangs and BBs tinging off of it all game. It is good fun.
Love that tin news. Love the tin news.
Yeah, it is good fun. And the night games are good there because we've got some of the way that the lighting works. There's some really dark areas and light areas in there. But it is good fun.
It's the first thing I noticed upon going onto the site yesterday. It was like, whoa, the terrain changed massively. Once you get out that safe zone, it's like, right, okay, we are going straight up there. And so the site itself isn't huge land-wise, but you've got to go up and down and around on that. And I mean, it's enabled you to really lay out the structures quite nicely.
Yeah, it's not far. It's just over. I think it's between 20 and 30 acres. It's not major, but I don't use all of it. I mean, I lost 60 players in there at the weekend, so I think if I use another couple of the areas, I could go bigger. But the trouble is, you lose the players, you lose little battles. People get annoyed because leaves in the way and stuff like that. And so it's quite hard to keep an eye on everyone. So we like it fast paced and a bit more compact. So yeah.
For someone who comes from the paintballing world, because you were quite heavily involved in paintball before this, right?
Yeah, to a degree. It was kind of it wasn't something I was going to go into. I just enjoyed playing it and kind of landed the site in my lap in the end. By the farmer. Yeah.
So
but it's all right. It's all
have
good
you found
now.
the change? Yeah, have you found the change of gameplay?
Much better. There's pros and cons to both. I think the biggest one that I noticed straight away was was in paintball you don't get players arguing that they shot someone because they're kind of like covered in paint. And sometimes with paintball it was hurting a lot more. People, you wouldn't put 3 or 4 into them and then oh no, it didn't hit me, sort of thing. So it's you get cheats in paintball. They wipe it off, but it's a lot easier to marshal in that respect. Yeah. No, we haven't had too many problems.
We hired the site for a paintball game once. Oh my god, there was more paint on the walls than there were.
I was going to say you hired it out to a paintball site.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, I can imagine that was fun for you.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh god, it was a nightmare for us.
So Gary,
yeah,
bit of a blast from the past for you. Paul Mintram.
Yeah.
I'm going to read this verbatim. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Paul Mintram has made a comment.
Okay.
Gary Byrne, as one of your favourite poster boys, former marshals and players, how much do you miss me when I'm not playing?
Can I put up a card saying no comment?
You can state no comment. There's a second part to this as well.
Oh, okay, the second part. Okay, come on.
Okay, it says, Gary, seriously, you're doing a great job. You work so hard and you always listen to input. Thank you for all the hours of fun you've given myself and all the other players at SouthCoast CQB. What plans do you have for What plans do you have for the future? Are there any intentions to branch out into a woodland site or eventually to a larger venue?
It's a difficult one to say out loud. I mean, we have lots of plans. We have lots of ideas. Funding is one of the problems to do all of those ideas and those plans. As for woodland, watch this space. I think someone mentioned on the feed about beach landings.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Watch this space on that as well. I can't say too much at the moment.
Yeah, that was wine gum.
Yeah, still in the planning stages, but we are confident that things will evolve very quickly over the next 6 months. Very confident.
Interesting.
Did the MOD own that site, or is it yours? Okay,
no,
so it's not.
No, we rent it from a private landlord.
Okay.
Who bought it from the MOD.
Fantastic. So there's no issues of that ever kind of being changed as MOD sites are over time.
No, it will never ever be back to MOD ever. Unfortunately,
Okay.
the landowners don't own the beach. The MOD still own the beach, so it's there's grey areas about all of that. But we still rent the site for Airsoft at that training camp, and it's 9 to 12 acres, and it's not as big as your site, Andy, but you can still get lost, in the buildings, and it still takes a while to try and find someone if they're hidden away, camped up in one of the buildings.
I feel like I have to say you can get lost in the shower block.
We got more here. Josh Dunnings has asked, I heard one of your marshals carries a rubber fist as a melee weapon.
That's right, he does. And it's Josh Dunnings.
Oh, Josh, of course it is.
There's some shameless self-promotion there, Josh.
His call sign is Mr. Fister. I think he's going to love me for saying that on live.
It's up to 9 people.
Josh has replied about the beach. Says the beach is still used as a firing range. If you remember,
that's right.
correct.
Yeah. It's still used by the Army and the Navy.
Yeah.
For beach landings. But
got a few questions here for Andy as well.
Oh.
Michael Mitson has asked, Andy, where is your site and is it on Facebook? Obviously, wait, one second. Michael, obviously, if you can't bother to look it up, Winner will answer it for you.
And I've just tagged both the sites in the comments, so if you scroll a couple up, you'll see it there.
There you go.
Oh, please, Andy, carry on.
And it's tagged in the comment of the live stream. So
yeah, Staplehurst. It's near Maidstone, and it is on Facebook. Yeah.
And you can't miss
that is Invicta Battlefield, obviously. You can't miss it. They have a huge push.
There we go.
Hello, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
I like the fact Carlo's gagged now. Everyone wants to get in on that.
I love it.
Trendsetter, trend followers.
All right, Hitler. Okay, so we've got any questions? If not, I'll carry on.
One more in here somewhere, and we'll just pull it up. Simon Johnson has asked, are there any plans on expanding? Or are you planning to extend at some point, sorry, I should say. Simon Johnson.
Which site is this?
It doesn't actually state which site, so we're just going to ask it.
Anyone recognise Simon?
It's the first answer.
Well, the simple answer is, for me, is that we can't. we can't extend too much because it's an enclosed army camp, so we're not able to. We can go south, but that would mean going into the realms of the beach and the sea and the Isle of Wight.
Some Navy SEALs coming up out of water every time, yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
It's boring after the first AG dies.
But we can't expand. We can't, unfortunately.
What about you, Andy?
Well, I don't think the other farmers would be particularly happy.
Quite often.
Yeah. No, I don't think we probably go any bigger than the current farm. There's plenty of space to expand out of the woods, and I'll probably look at. Sorry. Focused
on kind of still doing stuff inside the area as well, aren't you? At the moment?
Yeah, I just building up the whole time. I like building new bunkers and new bits and bobs, and there's still plenty more to do. It's different every time, every month. It's different for every player, so it's good.
You've just added vehicles as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I was always using the military 110. It's the only one that get around there in the winter, but now it's a bit drier. We can get a couple of little vehicles in there as well. So we do a bit of a convoy game, which is a bit of fun.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
But we have our event coming up this weekend. We have something along those lines planned, but I can't say too much about that at all.
So let's talk about these events coming up, and then we will talk about the running of sites. Just because I'm quite excited, both of you have got 2 big events coming up. Andy, yours is this weekend. Gary, yours is this weekend, and It has sold out.
Yep.
Why don't you tell people what's going on? Because this one is the third part, isn't it?
It's the third instalment of El Contador, Blood Money. It started off as way back when 3 years ago. It was just we took on the mantle of this guy called El Contador, and it's kind of snowballed every year. It's got bigger and bigger and bigger. And this third one is just, we've got drones, we've got so much planned this weekend. I don't know how we're going to fit it all into the 6 hours we've got. I really don't. But I've got a great team of guys around me, that have helped me no end with all the events that we do, and all the site work that we do. If it wasn't for that team, I wouldn't. SouthCoast CQB wouldn't be the site that it is. It wouldn't. But this event is just going to be huge. It's going to be our biggest yet, and really looking forward to it.
And the storyline's constantly evolving, right?
The storyline, it changes every year. I mean, this year is more of a presidential thing. That's all I can really say about that, really. But someone will be making an appearance, but who, I don't know.
I can't believe Gary got Novrich to turn up to SouthCoast CQB with his sniper rifle.
You what, mate?
I'm going to start the rumours now.
It's like I'm a flop operator. I am my own rumour.
Yeah. Who brings a sniper to a CQB?
Just tell him to watch out for the headwind.
Yeah. No, it should be a good one. I mean, it's we try and do our utmost. We put all the stops out for every event. We try and change things up every event that we do, but the El Contador one is special. It's really special.
Very cool. I'll keep an eye on it for the weekend and definitely get a write-up of it for next week. So no, that one sounds really cool. Go on in, Andy. I know you've got a huge one coming up, and this is gonna be a big one. And I was hearing a lot about it yesterday, actually, from the Platoon stores there. So why don't you tell everyone what's coming up in July?
Yeah, so 15th, 16th of July, we're doing a weekend event. I've got plenty of fields there, bits and bobs for camping. And we just want to make it a bit of a Airsoft festival, if you like, a bit of fun. We're all about having fun and having good games and a laugh with it as well. A bit more of the social side of it, perhaps. And so we're looking at doing 2 days of events, games, Saturday and Sunday, and loads of trade stands, loads of food, a bar, music.
I'm coming.
I will be there.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
I believe you're looking at Formula One. Formula One might be on the Sunday.
We're just trying to work that out as well.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. It's an awesome idea, and like you say, it is like almost like an Airsoft tent festival.
Yeah,
really.
I don't want it to be nothing we do there is serious, if that makes sense. We don't really. We want to keep it light. The games are light. We want everyone to have fun. That's all we're all really interested in. And we just thought a weekend event would be ideal for that.
Yeah, perfectly. And
a bit of camping.
Sounds like that's the bit you're excited for. You're like, yes, I'm out.
Well, yeah, because then you can it just opens it up, doesn't it? Yeah.
And let's just say, who have you got on site? Because this one was really interesting to me yesterday because I was talking to Platoon stores. And
I was like, Platoon obviously run our shop for us, which is great. And so Pete's been working really hard with some of the suppliers. So now we've got ASG coming down with various Scorpions. We're giving away a Scorpion that weekend as well, BET, sorry. Viper, So it's going to be brilliant. ICS, yeah. I was we were talking to the Red Wolf coming. The guys are talking about bringing some Tipman demos down as well for the Autobot guys. It's just everyone can have a try of some of these guns that they couldn't necessarily have a try on the internet, obviously. So the range will be open all the time for any players to have a game, go with some of the newest guns on the market as well.
And a chance to win a Evo as well. So is that part of a raffle? Or is it?
Yeah, pretty much. So every ticket, there's going to be a maximum of 100 tickets. and every one of those has an individual number on, which relates to a raffle ticket. And one of the players that comes to the weekender will win that gun, as well as quite a few other bits and bobs we've got.
I'm winning it.
planned as
I'm
well.
winning it right now. My name on it.
You just bought 99 tickets, yeah. No, we've sold more than that. But no, yeah, it's looking good. So yeah, start pushing that now. At the weekends, when we have games and stuff, and
play every
start
2 weeks,
advertising it a bit much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, every 2 weeks.
So every 2 weeks. Where can they get the tickets if anyone's interested?
Well, they can contact me, but really it's from site or platoon stores, because we try to keep the price down as low as possible. So don't really want too many internet sales, because then obviously through PayPal you lose a percentage of that. And keeping it 50 quid for the whole weekend,
wow,
which will go up toward into May. So we're doing a bit of an early bird special, 50 quid. It'll go up to about 60 quid, which is not a lot really for what you'd get. Really. Plenty of games, different games, lots to win, and hopefully just a lot of fun over the whole weekend.
That's really cool. No, really cool.
Yeah.
No, I'm hoping to be down there. I'll definitely be down on one of the days. I'm slightly double booked on the other, but I might just bring my tent down for the Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely. So, and also, anyone's welcome as well. So we're having 100 player passes, but if anyone else wants to come down to the site that doesn't necessarily want to come down on a game day for whatever reason, or just wants to come and have a look at ASG stuff or Red Wolf stuff or whatever, they can come to the site as well. We're not closing the doors. We're leaving them open, and for the traders as well. So there'll be 100 players max, but then there'll just be. Yeah, go on.
Very cool. Carlo, I think you have some questions.
Yeah, we do. Anthony Wakeling has asked, where is this weekender based and when? So it's the 15th and 16th of July?
It is 15th, 16th of July.
Because we literally just said this about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
so you haven't been watching the feed, bro.
Have a look on the Facebook page, Invicta Battlefield. And yeah, all the details are on there, and on Instagram. Everything's Invicta Battlefield, and send us a message if you're interested.
Cool.
There's a question for all of us. From Mike Fraser. Yeah, it says, hi all, I have a question. Fundamentally, what do you all see as being the biggest problem in or with Airsoft right now? You also take that one first.
Anything. Oh yeah. I like the fact, Andy, for anyone who doesn't know, you just pointed straight off the stream to nobody. It's like, next question.
As soon as I did it, I just remembered that it's in a square, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of these three guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, above you, there's no one there.
Okay, is this about anything?
Oh,
Carlo?
mate, you point to me now. Oh.
Carlo,
anyone?
Shall I take this one then? Shall I answer on all of our behalves?
Well,
go for it.
Okay, so the major issue is right now with Airsoft is the fact that we have no idea what the hell is going on. There is too much information. There's too much information going on social media. So you just get this flood of info that isn't always correct. You have arguments daily, hourly, if you're really lucky, or if you go looking for them. If you're looking for trouble, you're guaranteed to find it anyway. And what comes from that is basically this negative outlook. See, everybody has to have a negative feedback. It's psychology. What nobody's actually searching for is to replace that negative with a positive. The largest issue is everyone's so quick to jump down somebody else's throat, especially those with too much confidence and not enough sense, that they don't want to help somebody else. It's one to point out that somebody else is wrong, or that they don't agree with them. That is the biggest problem.
That one's deep.
Cool. Yeah.
This is where we go hit taking. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Right,
I think Carlo's. I think he's right as well, and I think if there was more, if people made positive comments about sites as well, you never hear loads of positives on a site. You only hear the negatives, and then we don't need to hear that, do we?
Who wants it? I mean, if I said this last week, if you have an issue with something, speak to people directly and word your criticisms in a constructive manner.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Airsoft Mike's, that's not Airsoft, sorry, Templar Mike said the same thing. He's like, you don't just say something is, I'm not going to use that word that he said, because it's that word. It's not how you go about criticizing something.
Yeah,
because people are just going to say,
crap.
that guy's an idiot.
Because it's crap. Basically, it was like
because anyone
constructive.
that listens to it is just going to say, well, that guy's an idiot because he can't formulate a sentence constructively. You know, if you're at this point in life and you cannot use the English language, don't bother. Just save
Gary?
yourself the embarrassment.
Go on, Gary. What do you think?
What do I think? I mean, from the limited time that I've spent in Airsoft, which is 3 years, it's ego for me. I just, if there was less ego and more fun, like you've often said, Graham, and you have as well, Andy, if there's more fun involved, then I think we're going to a better place. Take the egos out of it. We've had 1 or 2 egos on our site. They haven't lasted long. But that's my view. Carlos is a little bit long-winded, but I think that explains it quite well. I think if you're getting a lot of young people wanting to do airsoft, and then you're getting the older, more experienced people putting them down, and I don't think it's fair.
No, it's unwarranted as well. There's no need to ruin somebody else's day just because the stresses of somebody's life is weighing down on one's persona.
But you get that
what
with
is this
any hobby.
Crap?
You get that with any hobby. Though.
Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? We've had the same in the gaming scene, haven't we? The gaming scene's been like that for years, and
yeah.
I think the other thing.
Oh, the sexism in there is the sexism present in gaming as well. Absolutely abhorrent.
Yeah.
And we obviously had the discussion in previous episodes that generally for such a kind of male-dominated appearance for this type of sport, we have a lot of women in there, and generally so far, touch wood, I would say majority of the times they've had a good experience, bar the odd person who thinks they're being funny. I'll go this a bit differently to what everyone else is saying. I'm going to go with, I think the biggest problem Airsoft's got at the moment, bar the law, because obviously that's a big issue at the moment, which obviously
you can choose to follow it or not. If you don't want to follow it, leave the country.
Yeah. The law on Airsoft. I think the biggest issue is the foundations on which Airsoft's built from an industry. In the UK, we need some development work, from sites working together to retailers working together. Everyone needs to pull in the same direction. I feel at the moment everyone's almost got their own agendas and split appearances. And it does cause this kind of disjointed community where the egos get involved with certain people liking certain sites and being kind of affiliated and not aware of playing elsewhere. I think at the moment we're going to have this issue, and it's going to implode where the players themselves are not up to date with the latest information that they need to be done. And I think at the moment we're under an issue between the law and between the community that we're not essentially informed enough. And as Airsoft's growing so rapidly, there isn't a place where everyone can kind of be informed at once, bar, Facebook and social network. And the problem being that the egos and normally the loudest minorities speak, who aren't really informed on the situation. So a lot of the guys that already know what's going on just don't want to speak about it because they're probably repeating themselves over and over again, or just having a torrent abuse just thrown at them. As we've had in a few groups this week, I've seen a few people who I've highly respected just go, F it, I'm out. I'm just leaving this group. And they were telling something really fundamentally important. But Airsoft's still young. Realistically, we're still young in a size of an industry, in a recognition of what Airsoft is.
I agree with that.
We are growing massively.
We're the America of the world.
we are growing massively, and it's going to. I think we've seen over sites. The amount of sites that have popped up over the last couple of years. that Airsoft is growing, but I do think that the foundations of Airsoft, the scene itself, needs a bit of development behind the scenes. From Yukara, for example, Yukara, a great idea in 2007, and still holding the banner to keep Airsoft safe, but it's quite...
It's got to evolve. It's got to evolve with the times.
That's it. It is very much old-fashioned in the way it's run.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to go too far into the conversations, but it isn't exactly an association anymore. And I think that we do need that. We need that solid foundation of an association, a trade body, that kind of professional level that say, right, we're kind of setting the groundwork here for everyone to join in and build something that's a bit stronger overall. So
we got a few comments here about some of the underages. Well, say underages, the under 18s, I should say.
Okay.
They're saying that they're getting blamed as well for ruining what Airsoft should be. And I'm thinking, no, if you don't look after these young players coming in, because the market is now flooding with young players. It has been for the last 3 to 5 years. There are a lot of under 18s, a lot of people a lot of players people call the Christmas noob, and we've all seen that video. I know we all have, where this American guy helps out this young player with everything going up with his weapon, from his mag not loading rounds because he didn't wind it enough, or he wasn't sure if there was a hit or a ricochet, so he was told to take it anyway, and so on and so forth. It's not enough that we just tell these guys how to do this stuff. It's the fact that we show them how to do it correctly, so they become inspired. And James Bailey said this on Fluff Race last week as well. We have to show them how to do it correctly, so they become inspired, and they may challenge us in the field again in future. I say us, I mean like people that have been doing this for years upon years, like myself, Graham, everybody else in the chat. It's not enough that we just...
You've got to remember, I started playing when I was 14, 15, pre-VCRA. So
25 years ago, Graham.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so before the
Steady
VCRA.
there, Gandalf.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it. I mean, buying an airsoft gun at a boot market for £50 is still the same one I've got in there behind the green screen.
Nice.
Yeah, buying it and then going out to what was an underground market at that point, because people didn't openly talk about playing it. But
Fight Club. I was just going to say Fight Club.
Yeah, it was an underground World War II bunker.
This is the guy with the trench coat. Hey kid, you want to buy some airsoft? We've got a great question here from Anthony Wakeling. Sorry, I don't mean to disrupt these interviews, but these some fantastic discussions happening here. Yes, Anthony Wakeling asks, what do you guys think about this new Airsoft adaptation with blank firing guns and lasers? Matt the Musketeer and Airsoft Careman love it. Where do you think this will go, and how will it adapt?
I got invited to this. It was too far away. Now, does everyone else know what this is all about? Because
I've seen a couple of things on Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, so essentially you've got a blank firer, so it's loaded blanks. It's obviously got some sort of laser or whatever, and you're basically firing almost like laser tag, but with blank firers.
Is this like the airplane sort of scenario? It's like a training thing.
Yeah, that airplane one. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you look at Airsoft Camman's YouTube channel, he put a video up this week about it, which is the same event I got invited to. It's just too far away from me for 3 hours or whatever. It was going to take me double that to get there. I think it's a cool idea. I don't know if it will take off.
You'd have to change the name of this as well.
Freaking laser beams.
Yeah. Freaking lasers. There we go. Good job.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that one.
So Airsoft Camman's in the channel. Thanks a lot for jumping in. Yeah, the things he said, hit registration wasn't great. You're dependent a lot of the time on lighting. If you've been hit, you don't know, you can't see it flashing because it's on your chest. If you don't see it flashing, obviously all this stuff could get refined over time. I don't know what the cost's like. I do think the costs might be put off.
The one I saw was like £100 per player.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool experience.
And would you have your own kit as well?
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd have to have essentially like a harness or something.
No, you don't. I mean, like I said, there's one I've seen which they provide everything for you except for your own clothing.
I think that's part of one of the
18s?
appeals of Airsoft, isn't it? Having your own weapons and kit.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah, but we can all like take
Yeah.
stuff and this.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the
I presume
measure of
under
each
18s
player,
can't
though,
play
isn't
either,
it?
can they?
Yeah.
It's like F1 before all the capping. Am I wrong? No, you guys laugh. Am I wrong?
Well,
Remember, before Formula One was capped in terms of prices and engine size, it was literally how much money you could pump into each engine.
But this is like thermal imaging and night vision, though, isn't it? Surely we're at that point now with people using thermal imaging.
Thermal imaging and night vision, there's not a lot of difference when it comes to a woodland game or whatever. You still can't tell what team they're on, pretty much.
Oh yeah, more of a milsim skirmish.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm bother with that. I think thermal changes the game a lot
We've had
more
both.
than night.
We're not allowed lasers on our site, unfortunately.
For the mil sims out there, if you want to disrupt a night vision thermal, just hide behind a piece of glass.
Yeah, especially glass that they use on greenhouses. That 5mm thick stuff that actually reflects UVA rays.
I thought you said grass, and I'm sitting there thinking, Carlos going yes to grass, and I'm thinking that surely beats the point. It's going to get your heat through. Right? Okay, get glass. Got it.
No. If you roll enough into the mud, like you know,
like Predator.
We've all seen Predator. It reflects off water as well. So
yeah. And so the whole thing, blank firers. I presume under 18s can't fire them. I don't know the law in that effect. You sure as hell probably can't.
Under 18s cannot obtain blanks.
So if that's the case, I mean, I think the biggest thing about Airsoft is it is one of those things where we have a lot of young kids that enjoy it, get up and enjoy. And, you know, I mean, I went with my dad as I was growing up, and I see a lot of players turn up with their parents and have fun with them. So I do think that ruin it, although I get the immersion probably is really cool to fire blanks at each other. It's got to be a lot more fun than the AEG, but that's why HK is best.
But I don't really like wearing a pair of contacts all day. Just, you know, a blank will still register at a maximum of, I think it's about 109 decibels. Something ridiculous like that.
Well, I was going to say, he was playing
that can damage your hearing.
Yeah, he was playing in a warehouse as well. Yeah, like I say,
it's going to be loud. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly.
However,
you get someone lean over your shoulder as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for the immersion and the realism's sake, I'm all for it. I'm totally all for it.
You want to get an M4 or something, wouldn't you? You'd want to up it.
You know what? You're right.
Minigun with all the shells going around.
It's an AR-15, I swear.
Exactly. Right. Any more questions before we go back to?
No, there aren't. Not
cool. Okay, let's get into the fun bit then. I'll let you guys shout out who wants to ever goes first, right? What has been the worst experience you've had of running a site? What's been like the worst thing you've seen?
Give me a minute, Andy. Give me a minute.
And me.
Hang on. Just in a few minutes.
Yeah.
What can you tell us?
Yeah, obviously, don't mention names if you go, yeah, that player was really bad. But as in,
what's
the kind of worst thing you've had?
Stress, or the fact that there's some depleted bank accounts going on. The fact that you've risked most of your livelihood.
What you're asking is, what's the worst thing about running a site? Is that basically what you're saying?
Yeah, that's a basic question.
Not as in what's the worst player you've ever met, but rather than running the site. What's the worst thing? Yeah.
I've never met you.
Go on.
Who are you? Who's this? Who's this?
Perfect person to blame.
Oh, Gary, that's pretty.
From a short space of time, probably the thing I've noticed the worst is the politics involved around it, and trying to steer clear of all of that. It's probably the and also if a player's decided they've not had a good day, for whatever reason, we love feedback. Bring it on, because if we don't, then we're just we're not going to move forward. But I would definitely say the politics side of it is probably the most interesting, and
How many players give you negative feedback on the day versus being a keyboard warrior at home?
You can't use. We don't like that word. You can't use that word. That's our word.
Keyboard warrior.
I've been pretty lucky. So either I'm doing something right or everyone's scared of me. But I don't think that's the case. No, I think everyone's. I'm from day one. I've asked for feedback at the end of games from different groups of players whenever they visit, and everyone's pretty honest because it was new, so it's new. What do you want to see, and then we try and go from there, which has worked quite well.
Cool.
I mean,
Gary.
the only way we have progressed is by listening to players.
Yeah,
That's the only way you can progress. I mean, you can get the negative feedback via social media. That's the worst part of it for me is the social media aspect. If it takes one post and you're fighting social media fires for days.
Yeah.
And it's hard work. It's hard work as a site manager or a site owner to try and combat that. But if you're open with players at the start and say, come and talk to me. And that's what I've always done. Every event, I've always said, come and talk to me. If there's any problems, talk to me. You don't put it on social media 2 days later where I can't do anything about it. Let's try and do something about it today. And that's what I've always tried to do.
I did mention this situation last show where a group from a team have been banned from a particular site. I won't mention any names here. They know who they are. They've had a scolding from me as well, where they literally had a terrible day and then decided to not speak to anyone about it that runs the site there and then, not be constructive in their criticism either, but instead decided to start a flame war using their keyboards. And I mean, Graham calls them keyboard warriors. I call them keyboard commandos because they work in stealth. You can't reach them through a screen, can you? No.
No, it's frustrating. It really is frustrating. I mean,
it feels impersonal as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
To the point where these people are literally talking crap about you, not only your site or the gameplay, but you yourself.
Yeah.
And they say some of the worst things you can imagine. And what can you do about it at the time?
Have you read my PMs? It feels like you've just literally reached into my personal messages and gone, oh look, it's more shit about Airsoft Nation. As I woke up to this morning.
Graham, trust me, before I used to play Airsoft, I used to be a performing arts teacher, and I used to get a lot of stick for that as well. So I know. I've put myself out there in the public eye. I know exactly how bad it gets. Used to be a chef as well. Could you imagine?
What I will say though is that the team that you've got around you as well. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if I've tried to instill good customer service, I've always tried to do that. Whether it's paintballing, laser tagging, airsofting. If you instill good customer services to your team, then it goes a long way. We try and. A lot of my marshals, they don't shout. There's no shouting. There's just like calm marshalling. There's
and some banter.
Yeah.
We've had a few questions on this as well, and no, I don't really want to. I don't want to say it's like victim blaming here, but Tim Brown has asked, with all due respect, if the site doesn't listen, then what?
Then leave your review on Airsoft Nation's map.
With the greatest respect, if you're not listening as a site manager or as a site owner, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
This man speaks sense.
You won't get the same. You won't get players coming back if they don't like it. Then.
Well, this is it.
You want people coming back. You want people enjoying themselves.
We've all watched Ramsey's Kitchen Nightmares, yeah. At the start of each show, the show itself will present to the viewers exactly what's going on with the restaurant. The food's bad, that's why they got no repeat custom, or the fact that, and this is my favorite one, the hostess or front of house manager is literally arguing with customers. That's my favourite every time. Because even when I was working the restaurant trade, nobody I knew ever did that.
No.
Customer is king. Customer is king.
I've
Yeah,
lost
more
my
than
temper
5
once.
people say the
I've
same
lost my
thing.
temper once.
Yeah.
And
Poor Carl.
I try to keep calm, but you do get the odd one that just tries to push those buttons, and you're there to have fun. And like you've said throughout this evening, it's about fun. Don't take it so seriously. Just enjoy the day.
Did he burn your patch? Did he burn your patch, Gary?
Did he burn my patch? Oh no.
Did you lace him up at 500 FPS, 50 rounds a second from an 88
with a tailwind?
With the tailwind. Like guys have said in the comments, you can vote with your feet, and ultimately that's right. Especially, I mean, if you're in Berkshire, you've not got a lot of choice with sites, but most places have got multiple. Most places have got multiple sites nearby. I mean, Kent, we've got a load as it is. So if you're not happy, don't go back.
Stop making more sites in Kent. Okay.
Sorry.
I will say,
all on one road. It's fine.
I spoke to someone today. It was like, I was looking at a site. I was like, well, great. Where? He's like, and he basically said somewhere in Kent. I can't even say that much. So I was like, great. And he's like, yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm like, I hope you've done your numbers here because we've got a lot of them, and you're going to be another woodland. Have you really thought? He's like, because you smack bang between a load of woodland sites. I'm like, what? And he's like a 3-hour journey away as well. I'm like, why not do it closer to home? Because this is it. I mean, we've got quite a lot in Kent, a lot more than I thought we had at the time when I started back over in Kent 3 years ago.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I was like, whoa, there's like a site 10 minutes away from me in any direction.
You spit out the window, mate, you'll find a airsoft site.
Just want to go back to Simon. Have you got Simon's question there? If not, Simon Johnson. And it's not feedback question. It's the one about
the one before that.
Yep.
Give me a second.
Well, while you're waiting for that, the gameplay
says,
as well.
Hey guys, sorry, I had to press the question in regards to a squad-based league and what impact do you think it might have on the sport? Any advice?
So he wanted to start a squad-based league. I'll give you my experience because I had to marshal one of these team versus team days, and it was awful. I think when you start doing these kind of squad-based stuff, if you lose the fun of it, it becomes a game where the winners love it, the other 5 teams hated it, and a year later, they're still kind of at head with each other and still didn't like the site, all because they didn't win a trophy. Which cost about £4 or something, I think. I'm not keen on taking airsoft that serious. Milsims, I think, is fine because you're military simulation.
It's different, isn't it?
The ICAC, I think, is great because they're enforcing you have to have fun. I think squad based. Fun. I mean, the fact is, at the end of the day, we've got Cole standing with his flag, sitting there in tyres, looking like he's been beat down. I mean, that's the fun of it.
It was.
I think if you get too serious, you cause issues. The university games are a good way to say it because the university games between them. Yeah. The ones that are taking it super seriously.
But
Yeah.
I think there was a risk of that, wasn't there, with the county ones as well? But so far so good.
we tried to do something last year with regards to team days and team training. Not the same sort of thing, but but inviting squads and teams to come along and to the site, but it didn't work. I mean, it's been tried, I guess, but it's. I don't think there's enough incentive for people to go to these sites, and also the sites charge so much. I mean, I'm one of them.
Yeah, but I don't think Dark Waters brought this up on Flop Race before. Mr. Jonathan Mills, my good friend, he said we have no national standard to work behind. The only thing we have that's really set in stone is the feet per second limit.
Even that,
because between every single even that is like even that is site discretion as well.
Yeah, and that's been discussed at ICAC, is that if you are doing county up north to further down, your home site versus away site, you could be playing different FPS rules, as long as it's known well in advance. Yeah, we don't have a lot of kind of standardisation.
Yeah, there should be. There should be one.
Again, well, one you think it's up to sites. Although I agree there should be a standardisation, but you also have the whole, if it's woodland versus CQB, do you have to look at differences there? I still think, this comes to the conversation I had earlier about the Airsoft foundations. I still think there should have been something in your CARA, really. They say, right, you sign up to a membership. As part of that, you need to agree to these type of rules. Because at the end of the day, it's no help for a player, especially pre-HPA, of going, oh, this site's 370, this site's 350, this one's 300.
Good point.
It makes it hard work for the player. HPA is fine. All right, turn it down, fine. But at the same time,
Graham, should we? One last question. This is a very important one. Then I think we should close off the show because it's 21:40, and yeah. Okay, so Anthony Wakeling asked, and you're very lucky, Anthony. This is the last question of the show. Gary and Andy, how do you start a site? Just out of interest. He's not looking to.
How do you start a site in Kent?
5 acre of woodland for 10 grand. Yeah. You have a site. Go.
Money.
I've got a DIY guide at home if someone.
A spade.
No, in seriousness,
luck.
I mean,
For me, it was luck.
And a lot of teamwork as well. Yeah, it was luck with me as well.
Clearly with tears.
I love that.
I love that. Clearly with tears. I mean, I've got the experience from Bush Valley, seeing 2 site owners essentially run it. It's a lot of hard work. It's having solid teamwork behind you. And it's a lot of persistence at the end of the day. You've got to keep going.
Gary's just been ripped by Paul Mintram. He's like, don't start a site. Gary used to have long flowing black locks, like one of the guys from White Snake before started.
See this?
Now,
3 years ago, brown.
And I'm only in my 30s and I'm already bald.
Yeah, mate, I know what you mean.
Full head of hair.
Yeah, Richie just asked if there's going to be an FPS counter on the map. There will be. I've got to email all 180 sites to find out. Let them there's a rule page for sites to put on so they can mark the FPS, and then that'll be a filter. So yes,
insurers as well. Insurers set site limits.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's only one company that insures Airsoft.
That's right.
No, it goes through several brokers.
Yeah.
Only one company that actually does it.
Yeah.
But realistically, this could have been something that UCARA set up 10 years ago and said, right, well, as part of this membership, here's the set rules.
It's the Airsoft Illuminati.
You handle your own Airsoft kind of health and safety side, but Airsoft as a whole could have been standardised. The weird ones are sites that let 370, especially with the Police Crime Act now, is that you're going to get to a point they go, 370 is fine. I mean, they're corona it, it's hot, and suddenly you're letting players with firearms.
What do you do with it then?
Well, if it's over 378, you've got to Section 5 firearm. Whether that falls down to the site having to do anything or not, it's still yet to be known. So
we're going to have a cage.
Yeah. Firing
Andy Snook says Links Insurance Solutions Limited for all your insurance needs.
Advert.
Yeah. Other insurers are available. Is it BBC type thing?
Airsofters give us your money limited.
Going back to your original question though, of what does it take to do your site set up your site? It took me nearly a year to negotiate with the landowner about what we wanted to do on site. I mean, I come from a laser tag background. We wanted to do laser tag on that site, but it wouldn't have been economically viable just to do laser tag. So we looked at Airsoft, and it seemed to be the route to go down, and it's proved right. I mean, it lends itself well to Airsoft. I mean, to other paintball wasn't so great, but
same.
But it's taken a long time to get where we are now, and I've said it earlier, and I'll say it again. If it wasn't for my team, I wouldn't be here. talking to you now, and SouthCoast CQB wouldn't be where it is now without that team. And it's a great team that I've got, thankfully.
And the players.
Do you want to shout out to those marshals, or are we going to
Yeah,
forget?
give them a good shout out, bro.
Are we going to shout out the people? I don't want to forget their name.
I've got 16 guys on my team.
Oh
and
wow!
I can't name them all.
Okay, so Gary Jr. 1 to 16. Thank you very much.
Minion 1 to 16. Thank you very much.
We've all got call signs like Mr. Fister, Flapjack.
Josh Dunning says, "Praise me."
They know how hard that we've worked to get where we are. They know, and I tell them every time how lucky I am to have them. It's simple as that. Simple as that. I'm not going to cry or get emotional, so don't do that. But if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here.
No, I feel I can.
Wow,
to be fair, I can see that how marshals do make a big difference. I mean, a lot of things on sites. The feedback on a bad day is that the hit taking or the stuff like that. It all comes down to having players or sites that have marshalling. Out of interest, you've got 16 guys in your team. Do you have a certain kind of ratio you put marshals out on the games, or is it just a case of
availability mainly? It's
2 goals, 1 cup.
Yeah, that as well. But it's availability. Some guys aren't available. We've been sold out since January, and we have between 60 and 80 players. So I've got to have 8 marshals.
Yeah.
1 to 10. So I've got to have 8 marshals. So the ratio is quite good. So everybody gets a go at marshalling.
Cool.
Do they play as well?
Do they play?
Yeah.
A large majority of my team does, yes. They play at other sites as well. They don't just play at my place. They play elsewhere, and that's where they learn from other sites. They bring that to our site as well.
Yeah.
It may not work. Some of the things that happen at other sites may not work at our site, but we try it. And if it doesn't work, we try something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Andy, do you want to give a shout out to any of your guys before we shoot off?
Yeah, I mean, one of the shout outs definitely was some of the Wolfpack boys, Gaz and Liam and the guys there. They helped me when I was changing from paintball to Airsoft. And I've got Matt, Steve and Grant who are there all the time as well. And I work with them during the day.
And they still have enough of you for the weekend.
Yeah, sometimes. I think we're pretty much like family.
That means they're not getting paid.
No, they do get paid.
Well,
and their boss at work as well.
Oh. When you just can't get enough.
You just drop the mic.
They let you loose today, then, haven't they?
A couple of them are online watching it. I just can't say anything nasty. No, they're a top bunch of guys.
Torpedo Graham's Airsoft Nation feed.
No, they're some really good guys.
I think most of my team are watching this as well. So, hi guys.
Josh may or not have asked questions and be in the chat.
They just want to embarrass me.
Like Fraser said, we need to see more airsofters in High Street selling birthday packages, and the first 100 BBs are free.
First 100, that's great.
Yeah, that feels like something else that Andy came from, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if you bring a group of 10 players along, I'll give you 100 BBs.
Of 0.1
I only need 10.
From the program.
I need 10 to dominate the game. Trust me.
Carlo
there was talk of a pistol draw as well, wasn't there? Something along that. Yeah. Pistol challenge.
I have the fast pistol draw.
That's it. Well, I just want to say thank you very much for coming on, Gary and Andy.
Pleasure.
A lot of people can learn. I do hope if you've not been to either of the sites and you're around Portsmouth or the Kent area, definitely go see them.
Gosport.
Look, I followed the signpost to Portsmouth. It took me 2.5, 3 hours. I lost my wing mirror on the way. Thanks.
I'm never going to live that one down. Never.
Were you on your bike as well?
I I was on the bike. I literally on the bike riding, and the wing mirror just fell off and hit my hand. And I looked down. I was like, "Oh, I better hold on to that and then pull over."
That's that wind.
Yeah.
There's a loose BB from the side.
It looped back round.
It boomeranged it round.
Mike, tomorrow you will see a share post from SouthCoast, and on Thursday you'll see one from Invicta that we shared. So we won't go there. I just need to say to finish off. Next week is the finale of season 1 of Airsoft Nation Live. Carlo's contract runs out then, and
what contract?
Are you getting everybody back? Are you getting everybody back?
Yeah.
Everyone's
Everyone's going to talk smack about me, like force me out, so I don't have to come back.
I've lost it now. So next week we've got the finale of the live show. It won't be on Monday. We're actually moving to Friday for the finale of the show, so that I can have more than 2 beers for the show. And so next Friday, tune in. There will be a lot coming out, but we do have a special one. We've actually got 6 guests tuning in to the finale show.
That's terrible.
6 snipers.
Oh look, Wayne's in there. Carlo, don't tell spoilers. So now, as it's been announced, we have 6 snipers on the show.
Son.
Over the next couple of days, you will see posts on Airsoft Nation with silhouettes of the guests. So please join in, have some fun. Guess who's on there? But over the next couple of days, you'll see that.
Well, it's not me and Andy. It's not me and Andy.
It's definitely not.
With those crosswinds, you probably could be a sniper.
Shoots that way.
Just by throwing them.
Boomerang.
I can hit people in Southampton.
You realise that theory of space curves? Well,
yes, so that's pretty much me for next week, and you'll see a lot of stuff going on this week through Airsoft Nation, so please keep an eye on it. If you've been to either SouthCoast or Invicta, go on Airsoft Nation, go on the map, find the site, and leave a review. Put 5 stars. And Andy and Gary can respond to these ones, so at least it's not a one-way street.
And we do.
Gary, good luck on Sunday. I hope it goes really well.
Thank you. Thanks.
Andy, you're not playing next week, so it's the week after?
Yeah, that's it. Yep, 7th of May is the next game.
Fantastic. Well, I hope that goes well. I'll definitely have to come down to that site as well, actually, as a player soon. Carlo.
You're more than welcome.
Carlo, who's on the Floperator this week?
On Floperator this week, we have Timothy Davies, otherwise known as Random Trashy. He's going to be talking about a load of military simulation prep, as well as the mentality that you guys should have going into one of these, I won't say hardcore. No, I will say hardcore mil sims, for example, Sterling and Sterling. So yeah,
There's no CAG anymore. So,
I was going to say CAG, and I had the conversation with somebody else. Like, CAG is gone. So who else is there?
Much is gone. So
I was going to say Octo 8, but then I was like, that's not really a hardcore mil sim, is it?
No, it's definitely raise that with Random Trashy. Call it a hardcore one. And I'm sure
yeah, I will actually. I have a whole script planned for him. I have a whole script planned to wind him up because that's what we do on. We wind up our guests so much the fact that they have to hang up.
and Carlo poaches every guest I've got.
Happen.
Yeah, I say Carlo's poaching every guest I've got, so you'll get your invite in the next couple of weeks. And guys, Peter's already doing it, but he's sharing the Big Weekender. So if you are free on the 15th, 16th of July, please sign up. I'll be there. Carlo will probably sign up.
I'll be there.
If you're there, maybe we should do a podcast there or a live show there.
Yes.
My camera.
There we go.
You could do a late one as well when we've got the music on as well. The fun side of it.
Can I just say, El Contador may be fully booked, but other dates are available.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to say, I'm going to be sharing your page. I believe it's coming out tomorrow or Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm actually sharing an event, but that will update to the page. Definitely go down there. I see Mr. Bodjups is in the channel. Who did?
Yeah, he is. He's about.
55 minutes late or something. But yes, I mean, you can even snipe at SouthCoast. It's been proven. He's done it.
You can.
Yes, definitely.
And hit yourself.
It's out of the way of my BBs now, mate.
I'm going to bring some boys down as well.
So, I think we might have to do the Kent versus Hampshire game soon.
Yeah.
But yes, guys,
bring
please,
it on. Bring it on.
Please attend the sites. Tune into Airsoft Nation. Tune into Flop Rater. The post will be up on Friday. And thank you very much for tuning in tonight. And I hope to see you next Friday. So thank you very much from me. Thanks from Gary.
Bye.
Thanks from Gandhi.
Thank you. Cheers.
Say goodbye, Carlo.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye, Carlo.